Knock, knock. Hey guys, what's up? Back here again today with a sort of different video. Today it's going to be a review video about the new Call of the Wild game that just came out. It's called The Angler. Last one was The Hunter, and this one is The Angler. It's based solely around fishing and exploration, just how their games usually do it. And I'm just going to kind of go over the small details that I noticed that are a little bit buggy and might need a little fixing, and some of the things that I can look forward to of them improving or maybe adding, maybe cool concepts or just small things that everybody might enjoy with this game. So without further ado, let's just hop right into it. So first things first, I just want to throw out there, the game itself does not look what you're about to see whenever you get into, like whenever I load in, it's not going to look like that whenever the game starts. This is just how I choose to have the graphics and design and sound, simply because my PC doesn't run that well. What the hell? Okay, there we go. Yeah, see, my PC doesn't run that well. But also, this is a new game. It's a really new game, and just came out. August 31st. So it's been about a week. I've been playing it for about a week. I've been trying to get the feel for it, and they've updated it 3 times. It was the day after it updated, 4 days after it updated, and then I logged on this morning and they updated it this morning that I know of. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just been hot fixes, small things like something with fish spawns, couple crashes, things like that, and I can't remember what else that I've been hearing that they fixed. But I'm just gonna... One of the number one things I've been hearing is the water. Obviously, I can't show very good explanation of it because my graphics aren't that... I have my graphics for this game like turned down low and shit. So, number one thing I've heard is that it doesn't look as good as it should. It should be more clear or whatever. People say that it should be clear. But I believe that if you go to most lakes, it's going to be murkish green, dark brown. You know, you don't get to see what's on the bottom unless you have goggles and you're looking deep into the water. Like, you're going to see maybe about 1.5 foot. Like, that's... You won't be able to see anything. No sunlight is getting down that deep. You can't see that well in murky water. There's only one place in the game that is crystal clear, that you can see about 5 feet deep, and that's the geysers. The geysers are crystal clear blue. You can see them all over here. I mean, if I were to zoom in, I mean, obviously it just shows it like a map usually, but those geysers, those geyser waters are beautiful. Only thing I'd say I'd have to add about the water effects is, like, I'm fine with the way they look at the moment, but I would have to say that when it comes to rivers, I would like them to have a constant flowing stream. It just doesn't look like the wind is pushing the water to one side. It looks, whenever I go to some channels, it looks like the wind is just pushing the water to one side, when in all reality, that current of that stream or river would be so strong that it's a constant flow downward. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Yeah, see right there, that's the bottom. I don't know if y'all can see that. There's a shadow. It's right there at the bottom. If I were to get a boat and go right on in here, you'd see nothing but fish. Yeah, see, there's one right there. You can see it perfectly. If I were to go right over here to the side of this little weather station. The weather stations, and there's so many collectibles that they added in this thing. It's kind of like alternate missions for like the warden. You just kind of go around and you'll find stuff at certain spots and be able to activate them, and at the end of the mission you'll get a reward. But other than that, all I can really say is, when it comes to the streams, make them flow, not steady water. If it's steady water, that's the only thing I have to say about the water. Is that I just wish it was flowing constantly during a stream. When it's a tiny stream or a heavy river, I'd like it to be flowing constantly downstream and not, super subtle and soft to where the wind is just gushing across it. So, I mean, obviously, I do realize that this game is super new released, that they could have, or that they're going to do more hot fixes. The hot fixers are just, for everyone's enjoyments, and they're reading the reviews of what's going on and what most people are finding an issue with. But I can probably guess that within before the year is done, I can probably guess they're going to do a great fix for the water looking as the way it is, just because they don't want to hear constant bitching and moaning from their customers. I personally don't have a problem with it. It's just the streams and the rivers. The other thing I am gonna say is that I wish, or that I hope that they add tents. The tents from Hunter Call of the Wild, where you can go somewhere and you can place a tent down, and then that's how you go to a certain spot that you really really like. For example, like these these little spots up here. I mean, there's barely any trails near them, and if people really like those spots, they should be able to just place a tent down once they're there and be like, okay, well, I don't have to worry about that anymore. That would be super handy, because also the only storage spot is at this little shop, and it's directly in the center of the map. I mean, I'd like to be able to have a tackle box, in my tent or something if I were to set it up. It'd come in very handy for someone who wants to go fishing up here, which these are a decent spot to fish. I mean, these little lakes right over here, these are a decent spot. A mouse. Um, this is a decent spot. It's just like some of the decent spots that are hard to get to. I wish we had a tent to put down, so that way we can go there immediately and spend all day. It's not walking there and then waiting for it to turn daytime again because you're fishing for daytime fish. That's super irritating. And a couple other things I've been hearing about, like from friends, is I hope they had like a tackle box in your Jeep. Maybe put a tackle box storage in your Jeeps. That way you can I just you run back to my Jeep, get my tackle box, it's there. I can switch out whatever I need, or have a tackle box icon or station for your boat. So that way, whenever you break a line, you're not just you're not just sitting there waiting for um you're not just sitting there waiting, or you have to go back, or you have to switch lures. It's oh, I have another one of these, so I can try to catch that fish again. Like that would be really really handy. And then um I've heard about if this wants to be as realistic as it should be, me and buddies of mine have been talking about there should be a trolling motor. So two people could be at the front, and you can troll for the fish that you want. And if people who don't know what trolling is, it's where you put a small little um you put a small little motor at the front of your boat, and that's how you'll kind of cruise while you're swim baiting, or while you're just kind of cruising through a channel. That's how you'll kind of move, and maybe instead of turning on your boat and scaring away all the fish, you just use a small motor to get from place to place. And I thought that would be really cool, because then we can just troll while fishing, and we can kind of swim bait, or we can swimmer all these fish behind us, and while we're moving towards fish, and fish are following us, following the bait. So there's always something to go on. I thought that that'd be a really cool idea. Or if we had a kayak, you know, that offers some great great opportunities. You could see people kayak racing across the giant lakes, or you can attach a kayak to your Jeep and maybe, whitewater rapids racing, that'd be something cool to add just for when people don't want to use a boat, they maybe want a nice scenic time, they can get a kayak and just kind of kayak around the entire mountain. Everyone count how many times I can say kayak in this sentence. um but overall, like transportation wise, maybe add a certain, like, if you do plan to add a tackle box, add multiple vehicles that have different amounts of storage. Kayak would be almost none. This boat would be a lot. Maybe there's a tiny little rowboat or a John boat that we could use that would actually let us choose, like, oh, well, do I want to sacrifice scaring these fish away for more storage, or do I want to be super sneaky and just fish with whatever I have on my person? Like, that would offer very different styles of play types of all these players who would kind of mimic what they have their for their fishing lifestyle. All the people who play this, they fish in real life, and they really want to enjoy, like, not going fishing every day of their life, but they can hop on here and be like, man, I just caught a 40-pound trout. That's something to live up to. But if being realistic is your key, you got to add in all those realistic elements, which is another thing about, let me go to the apparel site, which is another thing I wanted to talk about. Is for apparel, I feel that they should have just a little bit more customization. Maybe just add a couple more outfit lines to where you can get
Why make a deal
cool.
with the devil
Okay,
when
I'm
there's
gonna
a
wait for
hell
this
of a
bitch to
deal
shut
right
up.
here?
She's super annoying. She never lets anybody talk without her interrupting. But so I was saying earlier to my friends that we should be able to get vests like hers that maybe offer us just a little bit more storage for tackle and lines. Because though I see belts like those and vests like those, and I'm thinking, man, I really want one of those for my characters. That would be perfect to draw together my style of fishing. And her hat too.
I
Putting
always thought it would be
lures
lovely
or
out here, but honestly,
lures
I
or
think maybe
hooks
we
on
need
a
to
on
wait
a
for
hat.
spring.
Maybe that could be a type of storage, and people would sacrifice. Oh, I don't want a hat, but then they'd be like, oh wow, it offers a hook size. That'd be something to really think about and add, because when you go to the
Name your poison.
the apparel, it's really not much. You got sneakers and rubber boots with hiking boots, gloves. I don't see many people using gloves. I feel like that'd be something for coastal fishing, or whenever it's raining. I haven't seen rain in this game yet. I know that rain. It's good time to fish when it's raining. Tops. This is the part that would really be helpful. It's all you see is short sleeve, and these long sleeves are pretty cool, but I mean, nothing's really looking too Fisher like. I mean, the shop girl, she has the best outfit with the vest and belt that I've seen. I mean, if I could wear one of those, it'd be it'd be great. These are just like North Face jackets, but they don't have any vests. They don't have any vests. They just have short khaki shorts and dry pants. Couple hats. These boonie hats don't do anything. You can't put anything on them, which is a straight bummer. And sunglasses. I think the sunglasses is probably my favorite. Just get a pair of Oakleys. Um, so that's the apparel out of the way. That's my thought on the apparel. Another thought I have is, if you're gonna make it
Wait, I
realistic.
didn't buy anything.
Oh my God! Do you guys see how annoying she is? Yeah, that's what I deal with every time I enter this game. Um, Another thing I would like, me and my friends were talking about is this should be, if it's super realistic, add a bit of chance into the game. You know, um, every so often, you should be able to catch a fish that is ginormous or something, like crazy ginormous, or making an event where you say, hey, it's rumored that so and so pound blah 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 fish is spotted in this region. You can try and find it. Good luck. The game makers do something like that. Get people interested in hunting for that specific fish. and then it's just a monster. Hey, what's up, bro? Oh, nice fish, nice catch. Um, but the possibility of random chances, it would be super realistic because not only is it like oh cool, I didn't know I could do this, but it's more of an excitement thing because that's how random chances are. In real life you get really excited like, man, I didn't even know I could do that, or that's so lucky, that's a 1 out of a million chance. And more things to add randomness to it is, let's say you're driving your boat along for a real long, like you're driving your boat with a friend or so for a really long time. I'd say that it'd be cool if you know maybe, I don't know, 1 out of 20 chances you're driving your boat for 20 minutes, a fish will just jump into your boat. Like, that'd be cool. You'd get a small little notice board saying, hey, you caught a 5 pound rainbow trout just because it jumped in your boat. That'd be pretty fun. Or whenever you're driving a boat, maybe a fish jumps out and knocks your glasses off. You'll get a tiny thing that says, hey, you lost your glasses. Fish in this spot to try and find them. And you'll probably have to fish there for a while just so you can be like, hey, I found my glasses. Or it'll say, you caught your glasses. Don't look at me, bro. Don't look at me. Um, just there's the randomness of not only just catching a fish whenever you're fishing, but catching something different. Like, oh, you found a old pair of glasses, or you found a wristwatch. Maybe add some credits to your board. Or instead of catching a fish or a apparel item like glasses or a watch or something, maybe you'll catch just a log. You'll get caught on a log, and whenever you pull it up, it's like, you caught a 2 pound log. Congratulations. Or or you'll get strung up on moss, and you'll just have a glob of moss on your hook whenever you pull it out. I feel like that would be way more interesting for a game mechanic than just nothing but catching fish or waiting for a fish to catch, because I cannot tell you how many of times I have pulled up my string and it has just been nothing but moss. And that is the thing that fishers deal with. They deal with the possibility of, well, I'm not going to catch anything this cast, and they come back with just nothing but moss or a stick. And then maybe next cast they don't get anything, but it bites their food off. And it's all about the percentage, or maybe the randomness of what you're doing that allows you to catch those certain fish. And a great idea that my friend, that who I play this game with, he bought me the game. A great idea my friend had about fishing is how most fishermen they'll catch a smaller fish, and they'll use that small fish as a bait. Like, let's say, like, he was talking about how it'd be a great opportunity for the game to add a monster fish where you have to catch a bluegill and just let it you just have to let it run on your line. You have to let it run on your line for about 10, 20, 30 feet, and then, within an instant, or a randomness chance mechanic, it'd be amazing if at that time, when you catch that fish and it starts running with your fishing line, then a gigantic fish who only eats live bait and bluegills would come and snap on your line. Like, that'd be a great opportunity to introduce a enormous fish that just doesn't eat live bait because it's too smart, or that it just only wants to go after fish that are going wild and struggling. That'd be a great mechanic to add for whenever it gets really, really in depth. Trying to think what else. The whole one of my favorites would like one of my favorite ideas is, um I know that the people who worked on Hunter Call the Wild, I know that whenever that game came out, it was just, people say it was so hard, it was so buggy, nothing looked right, nothing was working right, it's boring, there's only 2 maps. Like, they were saying everything they could about that game. And I remember playing it when it was only 2 maps, and I agreed with him. But then whenever they said, "Hey, we're coming out with a safari map. We're coming out with a freaking Italian map. We're coming out with a Alaskan map where you can hunt grizzly bears." I mean, I was all for it. Adding the different types of species and adding a certain kind of how do I say it? Adding a certain kind of newness to that game was a great idea because it was it was just what people were wanting. And I mean, being able to say, okay, well, I know these people are getting tired of this. I gotta increase my drag. This boy might snap my line. Having that idea of, okay, these people are getting tired of this same old concept. Let's bring in a new map, or let's bring in new equipment that people want to work with. Is this dude pulling my line, or am I pulling him? Adding those new concepts and maps and fish is what's gonna bring these people in, all the new youth, all the new players. Because as soon as this game started, I was already thinking, man, if they had a coastal map, can you imagine? I mean, that's not a bad fish. I thought it was gonna be bigger. I mean, if they had a coastal map, it would be the perfect chance to start hunting, like, or start fishing for 500-pound fish. I mean, the possibilities are endless. They forgot to add sturgeon in this map. That'd be a great one. Sturgeons are at least 100 pounds. If they were to add a coastal map, which I'm praying they will, they can do all sorts of things. Hey, you're hunting for eels, you're fishing for sea snake, you're fishing for alligator gar, you can catch a python in the swamps, or whenever you actually go to start going out on the open sea, we have a specialized boat for you. It's one of those big fishing boats that I don't know the name, but I see a lot of people who catch tuna use it. It's just this big white boat, double decked, just super thick and chunky, super slow too. And it's usually two to three dudes on there, just gigantic ass surf poles, and they're cranking in tuna left and right. And I mean, tuna's no small fish, so adding that in this game, you get grouper, tuna, like bluefin tuna, yellowfin tuna, mako sharks. I don't know all the fish in the sea, but like just the big game. Fishing for the big game is what I'm after. Yeah, I mean, sure, I caught a 44-pound lake trout, or I caught a 39-pound lake trout. Big deal. I can lift 44 pounds. I wanna be out there holding up a freaking yellowfin tuna with a crane off the side of my boat saying, "Yeah, I caught that," or just starting to reel in a mako shark and just fighting for my life, just trying not to get yanked into the water. I mean, the possibilities are endless. There's so many places that have so many different species for this game that it'd be chaotic not to do different regions, or it'd be insane not to have a coastal map, not to have poles that can max out at 500 pounds with reels that have straight up just tensile strength of 1,000. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that as soon as Christmas drops, they're like, "Hey, we've already been working on this crazy DLC." But that's all I can really think about whenever it comes to major fixes. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and jump to some of the key points of the problems that I've been seeing that I'm guessing are just because of new releases or the new released game, and that how they're trying to fix it. One of the major problems that I've been experiencing is the whole MMO thing. They're making it to where as soon as you start up a game, that becomes a multiplayer lobby. And you're just thrown in there with a bunch of different people all over the map. And I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of that for the simple reason of I don't want anybody else in my fishing spot. If I want to go to a fishing spot, I kind of want to be there alone unless I'm bringing a friend. And I'm already like well assured that they're gonna be doing dedicated servers. They have dedicated servers on the Hunter Call of the Wild. I don't see why they can't do it on the Angler Call of the Wild. And I can almost guarantee you it's because of it being a new release. They don't want to make a dedicated server tab, and then you start up a dedicated server and just nothing works. So they're making it to where all these people join in together and it's all working. The entire map is working just with those people and they just log in. It's kind of irritating because whenever a server gets too populated and you try to join a friend, it will immediately kick you to something else. It won't even tell you that the server is full, which has been a big problem that we had to find out on our own. It takes us about it takes me around, if I don't get it within the first or third try, it takes me around 20 to 30 tries to try and get into a map. Just to try and get into a map with a friend, because I want to fish with a friend. I want to see him struggling to reel in a fish, and I want him to see me struggling to reel in that fish, just so we can egg each other on. And I can already tell that like, I'm hoping that's going to be one of the greatest patches that they're going to do. It's just going to be a dedicated server tab, because getting into a map with most people, like getting into a map with all these people and they're already spread across the map, it's kind of frustrating. And also whenever you're trying to join a game with a friend and you have douchebags like this who are just sitting in a spot, like, just I know most of them are probably doing something, but just assholes like I've seen in most of my games, like I've seen in most of my games for the past week, has just been nothing but non-stop. Like 3 or 4 people would just be sitting right at the beginning outpost, not even doing anything. And I'm like, hey, there are people who'd probably want to be in this server with us that you are not allowing them to, just because you are sitting here. And if you're not fishing, then it's like, just log off. Just log the hell off. That's one of my main concerns with this whole, like, open lobby immediately puts you into multiplayer. If there was a single player tab to click on, you're damn straight I'd be playing that right now. And then another big one that I have to point out to most of you is the achievements. The achievements, is what I've been hearing, have been super wacky. Apparently, it's either a level after, or a number after the initial. Sorry, that's a burp. I apologize for that. It's the number. It's the number after, the actual uh achievement number that they want you to get. So whenever it says, "Hey, reach level 50," you can only, or you have to get level 51 for them to count as level 50. I don't know why. I don't know why it does that, but apparently it does. I'm not sure if it does that with the I'm not sure it does that with the 100 fish, or if it does that with the uh cast 4 rods or make 4 rods into your tackle box assembler, or there's one that I think is extremely broken, and it's the catch a gold fish, which is the ranking. Catch a gold ranked fish in under 1 minute, which means you got to catch it and pull it in, reel it in less than a minute. And I think that one is probably the most broken, for it being that it doesn't have any idea what to do. Because I've caught gold yellow perch in less than a minute. They're not hard to catch. I didn't get any of that achievement. And so part of it being all a new game is that you're gonna experience things like that. It's gonna be nothing but just small mishaps. I don't want to go into my Steam achievement now to kind of show you guys, but there are achievements where it's saying, hey, do this at this level or at this amount of numbers, and from what I've heard from most of my friends who have gotten those achievements, they are all just a number behind, or they're completely whack and they won't give it to you at this moment. So I'm hoping later down the line, with things like this, like things like the achievements, I'm hoping that our record will show on the game, And when we log in one day after an update, I'm hoping that they'll just jam all those achievements to us just as soon as we log in. I'm keeping my hopes up. I know it might not be for sure thing, but that is something to look forward to. Honestly, everybody, I think that's about it. I've tried to wrap up everything I could as much as I feel about the game. I'm not trying to be super biased towards one person's opinion about a game that's not fully done and released for a certain amount of money, or people who are just loving the game and only want it to do good. I'm trying to keep it right in the middle where this could use some tinkering, and I love this factor of the game. I'm kind of just trying to keep it right there in the middle and remain totally non-biased about either the company that made the game, what they could have done better, what they did better on previous games. I'm letting them know that hey, I understand that this game was just released and that you have plenty of due and that you're going to work on it and that you're really just waiting for the feedbacks of the players to really tell you that hey, I've been experiencing this or that. And that's sort of why I'm here. That's sort of why I'm making this video. This isn't a video I've done recently, or this isn't a video that I do very often. This is one of my first videos of reviews for a game, and I'm wanting it to possibly make its way to the devs. This being a game released in the first week, I'm hoping that I can get this video somewhere within the top pages of search results so that I can get this to the devs and maybe they can see like, oh yeah, a coastal map, that'd be good. Or yeah, if they have their Jeep next to them, why not let them have a tackle box? Or them saying, you know what, a kayak race might seem fun. Not everybody wants to fish on this game. It's just those small things that they could try to improve is what I really want them to focus with. And I'm hoping that some of you who are watching this video really agree with what I'm saying. Now, with all that being said, I am going to end this video here. If any of you really enjoy this video and want to see me fish some more, please leave a comment in the below saying that you would like to see more. Hit that like button and subscribe.